Playing on Petrie now. He'll get towards the boundary line. That's poor by McKenzie. Petrie and then Anthony. Now this is an important bounce. Thomas has a chance. He's waiting for a Thomas. Thomas cleverly, but Tarrant couldn't quite get it. It would have been Tarrant better than Thomas, I reckon, in that situation. Selwood on the up. Cox. Every time he gets it, they'll give a mighty roar today. Gaff. And now they can expose them. Gaff's got Priddis inside. He's got leg speed. He's got 3 bounces. He can go outside. He's got 4 bounces. He goes inside to Priddis. Priddis, well, now Lynch is held up. Not so good. Lynch just gets rid of them, though, and then hooks the big cue right to the goal square. And Josh Hill just floats in like a butterfly.
Josh Hill, his opponent's going to have to be aware of that in the air.
So he's got a personal best for the season now. 34 goals.
Way down, Goldstein gets a touch. Cox, though, gets the crumb. Butler, Gaff, nicely worked. Scott Selwood, Kerr. A dangerous grouping right there. Kerr, a couple of bounces, comes down towards half-forward, takes something off the kick and finds Cox. They're up and about now, the West Coast Eagles. Getting the opening goal. Nat Nui is in the goal square. Kick goes in that direction as he leads to the pocket. Not required.
AFL football.
Turned 20 back in June, so still a baby, really. 47 goals for this season. Outstanding. 3 last week. His best 5 against Brisbane. Round 18. Kick is on the way, and he does that to good effect. He can kick a very good goal. He's just given us evidence of that.
We mentioned before the game how Hawthorn didn't allow him to follow up his own work and get on the end of those clearances and create that forward play for West Coast. North Melbourne don't appear to be employing the same tactic.
Perito out of defence. Nat Nui takes the mark, lays it off. Embley long again. That's a massive kick. It's a goal. How about that? Didn't get the set.
Isn't that amazing? That must have travelled 65 metres. That just got in the wind tunnel, didn't it?
Yeah.
He got it up in the air, and the breeze is basically pushing in that from right to left on our television screen. That's a mammoth kick. Just floated.
Nat Nui too, Lee.
Yeah,
a great strong, contested mark. He's getting much better in that area this year too, Nat Nui. You just wonder, when he finishes, when he actually becomes the mature, developed player, just had to play that a little bit smarter. When they get the opportunity now, the West Coast Eagles, to clear this without real pressure on the kick.
You're spot on, Tim, because Butler was really going nowhere with that. Nat Nui so easily to Kerr, and again down the Chris Mayne wearing wing. It's where they've been going all the time. Darling at full stretch. This is exciting stuff. 1 bounce, 2 bounces. Can he kick the goal? He goes. How's that? End-to-end footy. It doesn't get much better than that. It's thrilling.
Jack Darling, just too much pace and agility for Ferrito. It's the matchup that the West Coast Eagles were hoping for. I can tell you also, boys, that both Nat Nui and Cox had a quiet word in the umpire's ear.
Hit the pack hard. Thomas loops it over the top. Swallow goes inside the forward 50. Standing tall is Hearn. Plays on immediately. Glass marks across half-back. Generally wants to give. Does here. Embley with a marvellous goal just minutes ago. Takes a risk, come back towards the corridor, they say, and he does. Marston towards half-forward and Hill.
Just a little too far for Hill, but he's up and about. Hill played it cleverly. The ball was unkind to him. McMillan off the ground. Nat Nui tries to pick it up, does pick it up, breaks through, gets a bit on the kick to the pocket. And the Eagles, they are so tall everywhere when you look for McKenzie here. Never kicked a goal. It's his 78th game, so he's 0-77 no longer. Have a look at the response. They know, he knows. They've got 5.
Turn into clearances, but it's so hard for a guy like Swallow when he knows really it's not a whole lot of chance that Goldstein's going to get any real creativity if he gets hands on board in the ruck work.
And here's Nat Nui, he was 3rd man up there. Shuey high tackle. Well, Zeeble was just really loose there, wasn't he?
Just talking about loose at the moment. Uncontested possession, 41-16, the Eagles' way. Coming into this game, the last month of football, North Melbourne were the #1 uncontested possession side in the competition. So, I mean, getting back to your point, I mean, they just aren't able to get their hands on the ball nearly enough so they can share it.
They're depending on the Eagles giving it back by turning the ball over, and they're not looking like doing that.
So Darling kicked one from a tighter position than this. Shuey struck it pretty well. struck it very well. They've got a half a dozen. They would just love a goal. They haven't had a goalless quarter this year. Wobbling forward, just so slow there, Hanson. Well done, Petrie. Well done, Wells, but the handball was awful. He got the ball okay, and off they go again. It's a procession.
Numbers everywhere.
Hill, the one bounce. Looks down inside the forward 50, sets it up, trying to favour Darling, pushes off his man, takes the mark, thought about going, stops.
So it's been an enormous quarter of footy.
And he comes then, we're right behind him, kick is on the way, and through it goes. Well, it's a long way back now for North Melbourne. Yes. It was a very strange one. They're waving to the bench now as Thompson thumps towards the line. Marston flicks it down towards the pocket. Ferrito smothered off the boot, comes to Hill, the live wire, shoots towards full forward. Missed initially by McMahon. Brought himself some time into the, well, path of Attlee, who then proceeded to leave it behind. Well done, McGinnity gave it to Lynch, who snaps and kicks a goal. Nothing will go right for the Roos. 8-6 to 5 behinds midway through the second term of this elimination final. North Melbourne in all sorts of trouble. Here's Wright. Kicks it well outside the 50, just short of the wing, reaching over the top. The leap came from Schofield, got it on the ground. Kerr goes to Gaff, whistle off the ball. Advantage is paid. Short one to Hill. He's everywhere on the forward line, just loops it back. And the mark taken by Embley about.
They would like to be able to run and overlap. Are out there doing it this afternoon for the Eagles.
This to push the margin over 50. If he kicks a goal, and this one is working back. I'm not sure he got that too sweetly. He almost socked it through, I think. But it's a goal, they can do no wrong. 60 plays 5. That first goal becomes enormous. Everyone's well aware they haven't scored a goal. Don't worry about that. We're talking about the players now. Here's Petrie. He drives it back towards full forward. From behind, Brennan, loose ball, Campbell. Well, there you go. Long time coming.
But they've got to try and keep the ball in too. Those little small forwards, they're the ones who just have to stop the Eagles' rebound if they can get into that part of the ground.
So Selwood, McGinnity and Wright. McGinnity just couldn't get his foot to the ball, but he backed it up well and then squeezes it forward. Lynch attacking hard. Darling, well done, Darling. Brilliantly done. He's kicked 4.
That's Marston down. Close to Grimer, he goes in again. Marston's got it. Grimer's got him. Ball jarred out of there. Picked up by Gaff. Finds a way through. Hooks it down towards half forward. Darling feeling it. Nothing doing there though. Back goes Thompson. Loose handball. Under pressure. Tarrant socket away by Embley. Embley clears a path. Gathered now McGinnity. McGinnity snaps and kicks a goal. Gee, they're charmed. Everything is falling into place.
Let's have a look at Tarrant there. He's still playing the forward line, but when
He's just slow.
Yeah, just they ran past him.
Yep.
Well, missed tackle too. How many times have we seen the West Coast Eagles players just run through the Kangaroos tackles or getting the ball? Now, I don't know how much we can expect from Wells this afternoon. He's been out for a while. Hot day here at Subiaco. He's had 6. Harvey's got the ball now. He's had 5.
Let's see if he can kick a goal, little boomer. He does. Well done. Right on cue, Tim. There you go. You've got the knack as well as Dennis.
Have a look where Harvey gets clear here. He just was able to find the bit of space. Great finish.
Yep.
Great finish.
And it was well done by McGinnity. Well, he didn't realise his luck for a moment, and then it was too late. Breaking up the ground is Attlee. Gives it to Harvey. Now a real chance for the Kangaroos. They need to come at him. He gets a hand pass away to Petrie. Petrie goes towards the goal square. It rolls across to Hanson, and Hanson kicks the goal. Eventually, they got there. No stranger to goals. He's over 50 for the season 4 this afternoon. Jack Darling, right half back then. Goes long down towards half forward. The danger was always at the back. Brilliant. Cox to Schofield. Across now to Kennedy. Kennedy lines up, and what's he done? He's kicked a goal. Oh, what a beauty. Dean Cox, game 250, take a bow.
It was Schofield there with the overlap and the run and the handball. It was Petrie that was responsible for him. He didn't go with him.
Had the game-high disposals in the first term. Well done, Cunnington. Zeebel's had a fair bit of the ball early in this quarter, so Swallow. Kick to Hansen, a bit going on behind the play. Zeebel and Prittis, everything okay. Hansen asked to go on. Good kick. And Swallow, well, you wouldn't fancy him from here unless he was on the run. That's a good kick. Well done. A big hole. And
Canada knows who his opponent is because he just floated in there absolutely on his own.
He's been a sub 8 times this year, 7 of the last 9. Started last week, kicked 3. Starts today and he's kicked his second goal.
The outer side. Reimer, well done. Hard against the boundary. First possession. Cox. Not Cox. Reimer. Cox. Beautiful kick over the back again.
Embley, well, he doesn't normally handball it. He had Hill outside. He loves the goal, Embley. They've done it again. One end to the other.
He almost knew that he was in danger of being picked up there by Attlee, but he just let Attlee to get within half a
Cunnington,
step.
10 possessions. Wells out of sorts, certainly. They've rushed him back. Just the 7 possessions so far in the game, and this one drifts out of bounds from Gibson.
And Dennis, on the back of that, Anthony 4 possessions, Bastanak, as you mentioned, 4 possessions. Those young midfielders that I spoke about before the game just have not lifted to the tempo of a finals game.
Brennan goes down to the pocket. I think he was counting on Darling to continue his lead, but you may have seen Darling hit the deck. Mark's been taken in any case by Embley, who'll line up for his 4th. And you'd like him from here. He can make a bit of ground to his right-hand side. He's working it all out. Now he's going the J curve, if you don't mind. Runs around, snaps, and, well, he kicks it anyway.
For North Melbourne, Harper kicked 4 as a sub last week. Tarrant's come off, Harper on for North.
Well, always hard to know when to bring them on. There's Cunnington snapping at goal, especially on a hot day. Cunnington puts it through.
So again, a goal from a stoppage. Remember Harvey's goal earlier
Agreed.
in the second quarter. So Cunnington on the board. So 3 goals in this term for North. Still a massive margin, we know that. Swallow's been really, really good. Wells, well, we've talked about him being out of sorts. Well played, Kerr. McGinnity, brilliant by Master, just dashing through and then going to full forward. The big cue, that might be a goal. It is. Well, they're going to check.
I just want to check that. I believe it's a goal as well. Okay. What do you think it is?
I could not tell whether it was touched or not.
Okay, thank you. Nothing to add. Can we please have a score review? We believe it's a goal. Can you please check whether it's been touched?
So let's see. I think all the 4 think it wasn't touched. We're about to find out.
Hard to tell, isn't it? Did you know that the thought is that the goal umpire's decision is the most final? It's actually not, you know. The field umpire's in control of the situation.
Okay.
And if there's some confusion, the field umpire's the one who eventually gives the final decision. That looks inconclusive, doesn't it? You would have thought.
There's no way no Lynch is going to put his hand up and say that he touched it.
He's already put his hand up once there. No, it looks a goal, I think.
It doesn't look like it changed in its flight. It's hard to tell, isn't it?
No, it'll be a goal.
So Marston, we're about to find out.
Inconclusive, umpire's call.
Umpire's call, so we're going with a goal.
Well done. I think everybody except North Melbourne are happy, but I think it's the right way to go. So Marston gets his first.
Embley got the football. Poor kick, though. Thompson stood tall, gave it to McMahon. Burrito releases this man through midfield, McMillan. He started well enough, McMillan, goes down towards half forward, and Petrie takes the mark, plays on immediately. Harvey outside the 50, open goal, and he puts it through. Bit of dash now from the Kangaroos.
The Eagles keep scoring, makes it hard to rebound.
So Zeebel, yet another clearance for him in this third quarter. Right. Embley toe pokes. Thomas. And tries to just set it up. Good mark by Hansen. That was a good grab. A real contested mark. And then Hansen keeps it low. and soft, and Petrie, who created them. He's got a poor record against West Coast, Petrie. He's a terrific player. 57 goals this year. Just 5 goals in his last 4 matches coming in. It's a great kick. Well done. Well, the shackles are off a bit, aren't they? Well played. Right to Worls. Now use Harper, because Harper can really run.
And he's fresh. Forward of the interchange gates, goes inside the forward 50, turns the defence around. Campbell caught Glass napping. Glass hung on. Campbell will get the free.
Looked like he had his body positioned, but Campbell was always going to have the acceleration if it became a race for the footy.
Glass normally dictates those terms against bigger opponents. Quite happy, I think, in the end to get up the free.
Yeah, he's going to run into an open goal if he hadn't impeded him, probably.
Matt Campbell has been busy. 2 goals so far. See why he's in the team there, accelerating past Glass as though he was standing still. Campbell, kick is on the way. He likes it. It's a goal. Full credit to the Kangaroos. Trinity High School. Marston. Short one. Scott Selwood. What a season he's had. Goes out wide, and again that break behind the line as far as North are concerned, and Gaff is away. Thought he may have fancied his chances against Goldstein, but kicks inside the forward 50. It'll be a free kick. The big body of Dean Cox, so hard to move. Thompson eventually succumbing.
Does that so well, Cox, doesn't he? I mean, he just pushes back so hard that the opposition defender tends to just grapple trying to get past the big body. He's just so big.
Well, I think you're almost
And
concerned he
plays it
might
well.
fall on you, Lou.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like that tree in the forest.
It's dangerous. Yeah, he almost created that himself, Cox, but he's always going to get the free kick.
Game 250 for the champ, and he comes. Kick is on the way. Oh, how's that?
Chip.
Exquisite skills for a man that side, Dean Cox.
70 goals, Simon Madden.
They've headed out to the main highway again.
Yeah, they've used this brilliantly today. Shuey, such a run and carrier to Lynch, and then Lynch off a step. A long ball. Not quite. Natanui was jumping around. Schofield slowly after. They must be tired, these players. Inside, and finds Kennedy.
At the moment, well, they could do with the short game. But with the massive rotation, if you bring 1 or 2 players off, then it puts more load on the others.
It's the most unusual run-up in AFL footy, and Kennedy gets a 2nd goal.
Oblivious to all of that, just digs it out of the middle, kicks inside the forward 50. Hearn gets back. Gaff is breaking, but he goes longer. What an exquisite
Well, look,
kick.
there they go again.
Selwood.
Over the top.
Marston. Pritis is inside. He'll ignore that. He will carry the ball at least for a while. 2 bounces. Marston. Thought about a 3rd. Now spots Kennedy on the move. And Kennedy will line up with the
Blood rule. That's never happened in AFL before.
They've got a patented head bandage.
That's right. They should be pre-bandaged before the game. Saves everyone time. Here's Kennedy. Got 35 metres out then. Ironically, if he kicks a goal here, it's the biggest lead of the game. North have thrown everything at them since half-time. It doesn't matter. Brennan slides in, takes the mark. You would have heard them all.
You might get some conductor jokes from now on, Dennis.
Well, they liked my performance, I've got to say, Bruce. They said they could see me sort of developing into something. A bit late in the day, I told them. Here's Swallow. Brilliantly done, Harvey. Can he make amends? Looks down towards full forward. Found range right through the middle. He's got 3, Boomer.
Yeah. Oh, you mean that? Yeah.
Yeah, they had the draw at Waverley.
The overtime win over here only a couple of years
and they had a
ago.
2-pointer at the Wacker.
Yeah.
Mickey McGuan, who was an amazing. So they've had 3 amazing finals. So who knows what might happen next week? That's what will be happening. It'll be Collingwood and West Coast. West Coast beat them by a big margin over here, late in the season. Pritis to Gaff. What a fine young player Gaff is. And then Gaff, lovely kick to Natanui. And you look at Gaff to Natanui, and you think of the future.
Last year.
So can Natanui get this one home? Kenny. He's done it. Going to get any better than this for the Eagles?
I mean, they had the capacity to shut Hawthorn down and get back into the game. So their form really stacks up.
Anthony hard against the boundary line in the direction of Petrie. Lurking behind though is Hearn. Comes away with dash going down towards centre half forward. He kicks it. Look at that. A kilometre. That wasn't a Sharon. It was a Titleist. He's put it through. How about that?
He's thinking, can I get close enough? Oh, why not? I'll have a go. I'm 60 metres, that's close enough.
Remember that torpedo from the previous quarter?
It's not so much the stats part of his game, but just the ability to hold their back group together.
What about Cox there? Brilliantly down to Kerr, to Pritis inside the forward 50. Roving the pack, wonderfully done by Kennedy. Got some depth on the hand pass out wide and snapped by Lynch. 2 goals to Lynch. It started with Cox.
7, attacking 50.
Well, he needed a reasonable game, Lynch, didn't he? Because he's the man that came in. We know he's a fine player, but the balance of the team changes with him in. But he's delivered.
Cox is there with Goldstein, who won the tap it straight to Shuey, smothered off the boot by Zeeble. Flicked out of there by Harper. Zeeble gave it back to McMillan. Well done by Anthony. Now the little kick from Campbell. Some indecision. Well, that really sums up their day. With it now is Kerr. A long kick by Daniel Kerr. What a season he's had. He's cramped up. Wonderful goal by the champ. A stellar career. And more finals to come.
They're just weighing up around the 50-metre line. It's a matter of actually whose turn is it to kick it. Just the two. Just didn't know whether to go. Petrie just didn't quite go, and Kerr just unloaded. Just one of a little bit of confidence-boosting game afternoon at the footy.
Well, in terms of the conditions have been tough, Lee, but it hasn't been a really physical game of footy, has it?
No, the tackling's been low, and that's the point there. Mauling packs that we've seen the last couple of finals.
So 13 individual goal scorers. 9 of their 22 goals outside 40. Brilliantly done, Cox, from Pritis to Shuey to Kerr, and then Kerr looks up to Hill. Hill and Darling. I mean, not Hill on the scoreboard, but I thought Hill and Darling early. Darling, Oxford. Hill was fantastic early. And then Lynch, long and strong, another one. This is an extraordinary last quarter. This is their highest score ever in any final, beating the 1994 grand final by quite a margin now. They broke the record in the first quarter. They broke the record in the first half. They're breaking the record over 4 quarters. And they've broken a few North Melbourne hearts today.
There's a procession now, and
get out of the centre square again. How often have they ran through the front part of the centre square unopposed? I don't know, you just wonder whether you plan to play against the Eagles. You've got to have someone coming off the back of the centre square, because that play absolutely destroys your defence. If
Lee,
yes, Lee.
Can these guys win it?
Well, I think they've got weapons. I mean, they've been outstanding. Glue your feet to the ground. Trouble is, when you jump, when you come down, you might hurt yourself. That's always a problem with the leapers.
That's right.
Well done by Kennedy. Oh, this is extraordinary stuff. A 9-goal last quarter. Kennedy's got 3 of those. 4 all up, 3 in the last quarter. Well, there are so many records are broken today. It'll take me about half an hour and I haven't got time. It's their biggest win over North Melbourne ever. Their previous biggest win was the first time they ever played them in round 6, 1987. This is the biggest quarter they've ever had in a final. It's a long list, Dennis. I'm going to stop right there. But I'm enjoying it, aren't you?
It's been a good day at the footy. I mean,
there's some highlights late.
You feel sorry for North Melbourne, because they probably deserved on balance over their season and their courage in the run home more than this, but footy doesn't claim to be fair.
And then I think John Moore's
it goes out of bounds. So the clock stops at 4 seconds.
.25 inside 50s this last quarter of the Eagles. That's incredible.
Tossed in, wait for the siren. Memorable victory. As Bruce said, they've almost rewritten the record book. Dean Cox, in his 250th, gets the adulation he deserves along with that win. And he was terrific as well. Every face virtually a winner. as we look at the West Coast Eagles. They're through to meet Collingwood next week. Let's go down to Cameron Lynn.
Well, Cox